Hi guys, welcome back to the barn. Hope you're all well. Kit Kat's the biscuit of champions. So I'm at the point where I'm setting out the dimensions for these 7 doors that I started in the last video and actually the one before that. I'll link them 2 videos in the description in case you're just jumping in here. I wonder how we got to this point, but I will get these doors finished in this video and then it's not turning into a trilogy of 4. So just to mark these out, we'll call this door 1, which is the door that has the panel in that we glued up in the last video. So I'll just put a pencil mark on, reminds me which side I'm putting through the router, which is what we'll do in a short while. These doors are 715 tall, so I've got loads of room because I've got 800 there. And then the width, which is a critical part at the moment, is 518. So I've got 518, so my rails are 378 plus the 2 10mm grooves at the little tenons that will sit in, which will make probably a little bit more sense when we've routed them. So I need to make them 398. So I need to cut these down to 398mm. And again, just pick the best face, maybe that one and that one. Put my pencil marks on to say that's the way it's going through the router. Got another 3 to do like that. And then I will go to the table saw and set the crosscut up so we can cut these to length. Okay, so just to bring you up to speed, first of all, we've put this moulding around all 4 sides of the door frames. And what I didn't actually say, router bed becomes the referencing point. So when your mark needs to be down to the router bed for the cutters to work, that's how they're made. That cutter's now gone away, don't need that cutter anymore. I've now put the opposite, the coping cutter, into the router. Hope you can hear me. Evel Knievel's out on a tractor. I've set the height. I've also set up the router sleigh. I've put a new sacrificial fence on the back, so when I put these through, it doesn't break out all the back. And I've put one of the stiles in because the stiles are all long, so I can use them as my setup referencing from. So I've cut one on the stile. First of all, make sure the tenon was long enough, that 10mm tenon, referencing from the fence for that. And secondly, make sure the height is correct so I get that nice fit in there like that. The only thing I've got left to do now is to put a railing, do one of these at each end to make sure that the stub tenons, and my maths was right earlier, because if they are, once I put the 2 rails on the end, I should end up with the size of door I need. And if that works out right, I just need to put the old batch through. Again, need to make sure that I keep the face of the door downwards for that referencing. It's lovely in here today with the heater on. It's kind of that temperature where if I'm not careful I'm going to have to take a layer off. So we're now got to the point where we've got 7 door frames ready to sand and almost go together, but before I do that I need to cut the panels. Probably just prudent at this point just give you a little brief of what I'm up to here so all the different sizes make sense, and I'll show you the finished article when it is finished. I've got 3 doors on the lounge side of this unit that separates our kitchen and our lounge. The unit's been there a while and I've never been totally happy with it, so I spent a couple of weekends ago framing it out on the kitchen side and adding some more timber on the lounge side to make these doors fit better. The wall in the lounge has a panel, a proper raise and fill panel, which I made a long time ago on this channel, and there is 3 doors on the bottom. 2 of them exist. One of them is a new door, which is the one I'm going to make with the proper raise and fill panelling, so it continues that line of raise and fill panels across the lounge. The top 2 doors are the same size frame as the one on the bottom, but rather than having a raise and fill panelling, they're going to have plywood in, so it looks like a shaker style door. The only thing that draws them together in terms of their looks is the moulding that we've just put on the router. Then on the other side, the kitchen side, the doors are much smaller. 2 of them are almost like the size of a drawer front, which you'll see when we glue them up in a bit, but they've also got plywood panels in. The reason that the stiles and rails are much narrower than the ones in the lounge is, first of all, they match the existing doors that are on in the lounge in terms of dimensions, and these here match as near as I could the size of the stiles and the rails of the kitchen doors in the rest of the kitchen. Hopefully it'll look good when they're all on, and you'll see that at the end of this video. I've got some plywood panels which I'm gonna cut so I can get 6 of the 7 doors together, and then I need to bring the panel that we glued up in the last video back in here. It's actually in the house at the moment. I tried to make it sort of take on some atmospheric conditions of the house. 3rd cutter in that set to put the mouldings on, but we'll do that in a little bit. How I seem to now be making doors is I'll cut the panel the size of the panel plus 10mm so it fits in that rebate, and then because it's 15mm plywood and that rebate is only 10mm, I'll just put it over the router with a flat bit on, make a little rebate in the back of that panel, and then I'll sit it tight within the frame of the door. Hey! Hey! You're number 1. So I spent all morning fitting these 4 doors for the kitchen side, First of all, I cut all the horns off with a track saw, then I've just been cutting a very sliver off until they fit perfectly in the opening. The kitchen side uses little cabinet hinges for them to hinge on, because the frame that they're sitting in is actually just the thickness of the frame. It's almost like a mock frame on the wall. So all I've got to do now is sand these 4 frames, then I can hand them over to the paint director. It's always amazing when you're working away from the workshop, even though the house is only over there. I'm actually walked 2,700 steps just walking from the workshop to the house and back, trying bits, fitting it, bringing it back in here, just giving it a little tickle with the track saw. Welcome to another freezing cold night in the barn. So glad I've got this diesel heater to keep me warm. 6 doors are together, 4 of them are almost painted. The paint director's given them a coat of undercoat on their first top coat. They want another one tomorrow. She's been in here most of the day, where I've been slaving over a hot keyboard. So my aim tonight is to get the 7th door together, the one with this panel that we made in last video. Like the other ones, I've put the frame together loose to get the dimensions for the panel, the inside size of the frame, plus 10mm all around, and cut this to the size. It's parallel and it's square. So the next thing I need to do is just run this over the router with that straight router bit in, to take a little rebate around the back, because I don't want this to sit totally proud of the front of the door, because the panel is the same thickness of the door. So I'm going to put a rebate around the back which lets it sit lower in the frame, which is why I weren't bothered about these grooves, because these are going to get routed out. And then I'm going to swap the cutter for Big Bertha, and then we'll put this in. We'll have to crank down the running speed of the router to its lowest setting, because it's a big cutter. It's about 2.5 inch in diameter, and then slowly put this across the router until the thickness of the end is just enough to slide into the groove of the panel. And to do that, what I will do is run it across the router, because the router cutter will try and break out the end grain as it goes across it. So I'm going to do it in very, very small increments, so it takes a little while. Luckily I've only got 1 panel to do. The last time I had 6 panels, that took a long time. So I'm going to run it across both sides and then down the length, and then just crank the cutter up probably 1 millimeter and repeat it until it's that thickness. Well, I'm really happy with this. Absolutely millimetre perfect. So what I need to do now is just take this back apart, sand this. These are really nice and smooth, but the cross grain, just give that a little tickle with the sandpaper, and then I can glue it up and leave it overnight. I'm happy. Hopefully the paint director will be happy too, that's the main thing. Hey! As you can see, the paint director's been in here today and we've got the first coat on these bigger lounge sized doors. I think we're going to get to a point tomorrow where I can hang these and maybe just finish them off in the house where it's a bit warmer. The kitchen side's already finished. So I've just been looking online for some of these cutters because I thought that some of you may be interested. I found some on Amazon. 1/2 inch shank like this, slightly different profile for the panel cutter, but the other two cutters are identical and they're actually less than £40, €40, $40. So I'll put the link in the description should you be interested to have a further look. There is also 1/4 inch shank and 8mm shank. I find a 1/4 inch shank for a cutter so big is a little bit too much. I think you run the risk of shearing the shank off and you don't want a big piece of steel like that flying out of the router. So I recommend you look at an 1/2 inch shank. I've been using these 3M extracts, which one of you guys recommended I try. I've had my Max XT sander for exactly 1 year this month. And when I bought it, it came with some sanding disc, which to be fair didn't last 2 minutes. And I also bought some Merkers, which were good, but expensive. A box of 12 of these was less than £5. And lastly, now these doors are finished, as of tomorrow, I'm back on the build. I've been to the shops today. I've got some more timber to continue with the framing and the ceiling. So the only thing left to do in this video is the reveal. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.